Hello everybody, I am MatrixShadow Gaming, and now bear with me for a moment, but imagine that you're trading a villager melons. You go to make your last trade, but you don't have enough melons. So you run back to your melon farm, but you find that your melons haven't grown yet. What do? Well, by following the steps in this video, you can make an automatic melon farm so that you will never miss out on a harvest again. Okay, so for the first step of this farm, you're going to want to have a spot for your chests. So dig down about 2 blocks for this, and then place your chest there. And then in order to do this, you're just gonna need to dig 2 blocks in front of this chest, and then 1 block to the side of those. So make sure those hoppers are going into the chest, but these 2 side ones, you're gonna want to make sure those go into the central hoppers. Okay, so now for the next step, we're going to want to dig a pit that is 10 blocks across while 9 blocks wide. Okay, so for this next part, this part is very important, place 4 normal rails on top of these hoppers, and then place 2 powered rails on each side. And then you're going to want to do this. And then it doesn't matter what side you start on, but make sure you choose which side you want to go out. So for this, I'm just going to have this side be the one that goes out for us. And then you're going to just want to follow this pattern. And make sure the ends of the curves are all normal rails, otherwise they will not connect. Okay, so if you followed what I did, yours should look like this. So now in order to power those rails, you're going to want to get a redstone block, or you can place redstone torches under them. I prefer redstone blocks just because they're a tad easier to make. So you can just break all these middle ones in this row, replace these blocks with redstone, and then just lay your powered rails down, and everything should be lit up except for these 2, which is then you'll want to also replace these. So it should look like this. Okay, so for this next step, you'll want to find the middle of this area, which should be right here. So just place any type of slab, make sure it's a slab though, and place it there. Place your dirt blocks that you got from this row, place it there, and then you'll want to do that so it looks like this. Go ahead and build across so it goes over the tracks. Now this part is very important for this design, but make sure you leave at least 1 spot open. And then you can go ahead and just break this block and then have these just go off. Place some more rails so that it goes off. And then you're going to want to come up to your slab, right click, and water should be in there. There should be no water down here. If there is, you're going to have to replace all your rails again. So then for the next spot, just take your hoe, place it here, and then you're going to want to take your melon seeds or pumpkin seeds, it really doesn't matter. And then you're just going to kind of want to fill in like that and make a checkerboard pattern. So if you need to, go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that you've tilled all those areas, make sure to plant everything. Make sure to fill in every single tilled area, because if you don't do that, it will make placing seeds much easier when we get on to later steps. So your plot should look like this. Okay, so for the next step, you're going to want to place any type of light source here. I'm just going to place a sea lantern. Make sure it goes above the water. And then you're going to want to take your dirt, build up again. And then this is when you're going to want to take your observers and make sure to place it above every single crop. Okay, so now that you've placed all your observers, again, it doesn't matter where they're at as long as they are above a crop and they need to be facing down, otherwise this will not work. So now for your next step, you're going to want to place the pistons downward like this, and I find doing the outside is really easy. But if you want to get towards the inside, place a trapdoor, and then so you can get underneath them, and then kind of just go around and place these the best you can so that they're all facing downward. So once you've completed that step with the pistons, make sure to, now you'll want to place redstone, and make sure it's in this little plus pattern, otherwise the pistons will not work. So it should look like this. Now for this area I was telling you about, you're going to want to place a redstone lamp and a lever. And then this should cause a redstone signal. So you'll see this changed. So if we send a minecart in there, it will go around, and then if we flick this lever, it connects the track back into a loop. So your minecart will now loop around forever until you hit this lever again, and then it will eventually end back up right here. So this is used to prevent lag from happening. So like let's say you're lagging, or like your world's lagging really badly, or you just don't want melons being farmed currently and you just want them to grow. That will happen, and it will prevent you from like clogging up your systems too much. So in order to stop the pistons from actually harvesting things though, you're going to want to click on these redstone, make sure that they're just this dot. You do not want the plus anymore if you're stopping it. So the reason you're doing this is because with the plus it activates all the pistons, but now with just the one, it's just going to send one signal right to the observer. It should not activate any of the pistons. Sometimes it does, but that very rarely happens. So a combination of this redstone and this minecart over here with this track switcher, it will prevent your world from cluttering up and lagging. So now let's see how this works. So I'm going to send this minecart through. I'll make sure to activate the loop. I have set all the redstone so that these will go off, and now just for demonstration purposes, I am going to set the game rule to have a random tick speed of 250. So you'll see here that the pistons are activating whenever the crop grows, and that's because it is counting as a new block. So now you'll just have to wait for, so now melons are spawning. The hopper should be picking them up. and it is putting melons in the chest. So you're gonna also want to build walls. So I'm just gonna build some nice orange glass walls real quick. So now that I've built these walls, there should be no melons that fall outside of these. So of course you can see all these melons right here. That is because the hopper and the minecart is full, but that is only because my tick speed is set to so high. So it is producing way more melons than it can keep up with. But if you need to have more like production and stuff, because you have too much production and you need more storage to place things in quicker, you're going to want to close the loop, wait for this minecart to come back around. So like that, and then you're going to want to place another minecart and send that through, and then send another minecart through. Make sure they're sent out a little bit after each other so that they continue at a good pace, but so that they don't run into each other and mess everything up. And also make sure to reset your loop for that. So now I'm going to turn everything off, and we will see how it is. So you notice how you don't hear any more pistons anymore. That's because, and you'll see how there's melons growing everywhere, and that's because turning this redstone off, putting it back to its dot form, it will make it so that the pistons are not activated. So let's check the chest and see we already have a full row with max tick speed and everything. So that is how you make a automatic melon farm. I am MatrixShadow Gaming. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure to leave a like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more of my content. I will see you next video. MatrixShadow out.